Guys, let's talk. Because I'm baffled. What's going on? What exactly is the problem this season? Well, what's going on? Because the way these housemates have been asking for voluntary exit this season, it's quite unusual. This is the first time in the history of Big Brother Naija that we will have over 4 or 5 housemates speaking about seeking a voluntary exit from the show. A show which has only just started. And this voluntary exit conversation, it didn't just start last night with Tram. No, it didn't. It actually started right from the very first week. There was Martins before he was evicted who had been talking about, asking for a voluntary exit. And that was confirmed by Yusuf. And then there was Bells. To date, we do not know if she was actually joking or if she was serious. But she had already really packed her bags. And then Necha's one happened. And that one was actually real last week, Sunday. And then last night, during the party, it was Tram. Oh, did I skip Nomi's part? My apologies. But there was also Nomi. Of course, that was by her own doing, right? But yeah, that was Nomi's part. And then there was Tram. Ladies and gentlemen, who's next at this point? Who is next? Because I am baffled. I mean, I totally get it. This season is very much unusual. Very, very unusual. We have so many things happening this season that has never really before happened in any other season. But this conversation of seeking a voluntary exit, are they playing with Big Brother? Are they playing with us, the viewers? What exactly is it? Because, ladies and gentlemen, I totally get it. I understand the pressure. I understand the pressure of being in a confined space. I understand the tension of competing for the ultimate prize, with over 20 contenders, the trust issues, the betrayals, always having to watch your back, the manipulation, the blackmail, all the madness that comes with being in Big Brother's house. I totally understand it. However, are these housemates playing? Is this part of their game? Or is this for real? Because, as I said, I am baffled. And in case you don't get what I'm saying, let me repeat myself. Ladies and gentlemen, Tram, during the party last night, had gone to ask for voluntary exit. And according to the likes of Araga, he had actually collected the form. He had actually finalized everything. As usual, Big Brother had given him 24 hours to think about it. He's ready to leave the house. Or he was ready to leave the house. I mean, this guy was at his lowest last night. He wasn't dancing at the party. He wasn't participating. He wasn't excited at the party. I noticed him just, hanging behind the bar with Aiku. I noticed him just staying to himself. I really did not really think that there was anything wrong with him. Because that is Tram. During the parties, before he gets into his dancing mojo, he's just stuck up to himself for a bit before he loosens up. So I thought that, okay, Tram was actually going through his usual phase. Give him some minutes and he would loosen up. But hell no. At some point, I did not see him at the party anymore. Only for us to get into the house. And then we heard straight from Ricky's mouth to Chimsom that Tram has gone to seek voluntary exit. Hence the reason he wasn't at the party. And most of the housemates too started having conversations about it. That he was ready to leave. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, Tram of all people? Shocking. Really shocking. I mean, Tram is one of the most open-minded housemates this season. Just like Bells, they seem to have the same sort of mindset. Just like Bells. For Tram, it's not a do-or-die affair for him to be in Big Brother's house. If his name is called upon that he has been evicted, he would just calmly pack his bags and leave. No drama to it. For him, he's in the house to have fun. He's in the house to go through the experience as a 24-year-old that has achieved so much in his life. And for whatever reason, he's in the house. So for him, he's always ready to go. He's always ready to go. He is not clinging to anything in the house. He understands that it is a game. So he's always ready to go. He is not thinking about it too much. But regardless of the fact that he has that sort of mindset, ladies and gentlemen, I've always known that he's not the type of person to chicken out of situations. As a matter of fact, Tram will walk into the lion's den and wait to be attacked. That is how he carries himself in that house. His audacity, his courage, his boldness, his strong-headedness, his stubbornness, and his very strong resolve to cause chaos at any given point in time, regardless of who is involved. His I don't give a fuck type of attitude. That is who Tram is. A very strong guy, a warrior. So hearing later on as well from Tram himself that he was tired, that the week has been so crappy, they've been having a lot of losses, he's just tired, he just wants to leave. That broke me. Because for someone like Tram, who I deem as one of the strongest housemates in character, in mindset, hearing Tram say things like that, it made me wonder how bad it was with him. It made me really wonder. I mean, guys, I was really concerned. I was really worried, like genuinely worried. Tram looked defeated. He looked tired. He looked, you know what? He just looked like, okay, he's given up. And right now, all he needs is for Big Brother to just open the door and for him to walk out with his bags. And that would be it. But regardless of all of the conversations about voluntary exit, there were other conversations that were had with Tram. There were other reactions as well that, sort of got to him and also encouraged him to stay on in the game. And so at this point, I'm not particularly sure of his resolve yet. It might seem like he doesn't want to leave, but it still seems like he wants to leave, yeah? But ladies and gentlemen, speaking about the reactions and all the conversations that were had, we're going to talk about it on this video, all right? I mean, I'm still going to give more details about it, but this was just my first reaction to the news of Tram seeking a voluntary exit. I was just baffled. So we're going to dig deeper into it on this video later on, all right? But first, we need to take a few steps back and, analyze the party, because a lot of things were actually happening at the party. And guys, I found it quite hilarious. I'm going to be spilling all of that juicy tea right now on this video, all right? And of course, I look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comment section below. And question of this video, ladies and gentlemen, why do you think a lot of these housemates are just asking for voluntary exits out of the blues from time to time? Why do you think? Do you think it's all a strategy, or do you think they are really going through it in Big Brother's house? And how does it make you feel as a viewer? Do you feel like it's toying with your emotions? How do you feel? Let me know in the comment section below, all right? And yes, officially, you're all specially welcome to my channel. My name is Gloria Elijah. This is Frankly Speaking with Gloria Elijah, and I am the girl with the tea. Super excited to have you all here. All of that said, just quickly dive right into the rest of the details of this video. So first, about the party, ladies and gentlemen. It was a blast. Oh my days. Ladies and gentlemen, that first DJ gave me FOMO. Yup. He gave me FOMO. And I'm gonna revenge. I'm gonna revenge. See, that first DJ was so good. Made me miss going out. I mean, the song choices, the tracks, the music selection, it was just perfect. It was perfect. I mean, I remember telling you all about the last week Saturday's party, about how I just felt like it was sort of mid. But you see this particular DJ, the first one, that guy did not come to play. Oh, he came prepared. The dance floor was on fire. I was over here and I was busy hyping him up, hyping the housemates, because it was a blast. He gave us a beautiful, beautiful party with the housemates. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I enjoyed myself. I enjoyed the experience. It was beautiful. And speaking of the housemates, they were looking amazing. Amazing. I particularly loved what the guys were wearing. I loved Ricky's outfit. Ricky was looking like somebody's sugar daddy. I loved what Sultex was wearing. Oh my God. If you know me well, you will know that I am obsessed with wide feet panties. Yes, like palazzo pants. I love it. I love it. And looking at what's his name now, Sultex was wearing, oh my God, I just could not take my eyes away from it. Overall, I just love what the guys in general were wearing. For the girls, not entirely impressed. Not entirely impressed, yeah. But overall, it was a great party. Now, about the drama in the party, ladies and gentlemen, Godessa was everywhere. The way Godessa was rocking Barry, I was thinking, okay, what's going on here? Are you joking with us? What's going on here? What's happening? She was rocking this guy. Rocking this guy. Now, Araga was not there. I knew he could see her, right? Like, it was acting like he wasn't seeing what was happening, right? But he was just somewhere. Now, she rocked Barry so much. And then she went ahead to rock Cassie. And then she moved on to Gerard. And then she moved on to Sultex. And then she moved on to, was it Chimsom? And then she moved on to Ricky. Like, this girl was just sharing national cake to all the guys. And I was watching her, intrigued. Oh, by the way, I loved the fact that she was having fun. She was enjoying herself in all of it. She was having so much fun. But while she was rocking these guys, I noticed that if she rocks Barry and rocks Cassie, Barry will go to Cassie. They will whisper to each other. They will have a good laugh. And then, like, the guys were gossiping, obviously. Then later on, Godessa went to dance with Araga. And then later on, both of them, they were in one corner and they were having some very serious conversation. It looks like they were quarreling, but I'm not really sure what they were talking about. We couldn't really hear anything. Anyways, it went on and on like that, yeah? But that was the major drama there. Now, another drama, Another drama. Because, guys, we're going to get back to Godessa and Araga's one, all right? Because apparently, they had actually had some sort of agreement as to her dancing with other people at the party. We're going to get to that. So just stay on that thought for a bit. Now, the other drama, Nomi. Nomi was at the party and I was shocked. Ladies and gentlemen, do you know why I was shocked? I was shocked because the Pepsi challenge happened yesterday. Ladies and gentlemen, in case you did not hear me well, let me say it again. The almighty Pepsi challenge happened yesterday. If you've been a fan of this Big Brother Naija show for years, you and I know that, you see, the Guinness task, the Pepsi challenge, the Super Commando task, you see those three, yeah, they are the ultimate task which housemates will never miss for anything in the world. Why? Because the rewards are usually bigger and greater than the rewards for any other task. I'm telling you. Now, Lipton One used to be a part of it, but I think since, we know what happened. I think the head company left the country, so I don't know if they still do it. But you see that Pepsi challenge and the other two that I mentioned, those are the most sought after task in any season of Big Brother Naija. And so housemates always pray that those tasks happen when they are still in the house and not when they have been evicted. Housemates always pray for that opportunity. And so lo and behold, the Pepsi task happened yesterday. Quite frankly, I was actually shocked. I was shocked because it usually doesn't happen in the 4th week. It usually happens maybe in the 7th week or in the 8th week, right? So it happened, and guess who did not participate? Ladies and gentlemen, it was Nomi. Nomi again. Nomi did not participate in that task. For whatever reason, I do not know. All right, I'm not even particularly sure, because at the time the task was happening, we were having our YouTube live conversation, right? Now, I tried to do my findings, and from what I discovered, some people speculated that, oh, she did not like her team members. She was supposed to be in Sheba's team. They said, oh, she did not like her team members. Some people said that she just was not feeling up to it. Her fans were saying that, oh, she wasn't feeling well. A lot of excuses, a lot of speculations. I do not know. So I'm going to ask you all right now, if you watched that task, why didn't Nomi participate in the task? Another thing was, I was shocked, right? I was shocked because in the history of Big Brother Naija, I have never seen a situation where a housemate did not participate in a branded task, in a sponsored task. I have never seen such a thing happen before. Now, the only case where I have seen that a situation could have happened like that was with the wager task presentation. Yeah? Except Big Brother gives an instruction in his brief that every housemate must participate, every housemate must have a role, and the task, or rather the presentation, will be judged based on every single housemate's participation. There was a particular season where it wasn't entirely compulsory for all housemates to participate, because there was one particular season where a housemate was so angry with the head of house during that week. The person had their diary session and they had told Big Brother that they did not want to be a part of the wager. And Big Brother had told them, well, they should have that conversation with their head of house. So it was then I knew that, okay, fine, maybe it wasn't entirely compulsory at that point in time. But you see, when it comes to sponsored task, I have never seen or heard that housemates have the choice to not participate. It's unheard of. So when Nomi did not participate in the Pepsi task, ladies and gentlemen, I was shocked. In fact, I was more shocked. There's anything like that. I was more shocked and baffled when I saw her at the party and she was dancing. Now, it wasn't like she was actually sick, because after the party, she was fine. In fact, Nomi was not sick. She wasn't. She was fine. She was well. She was hale and hearty. But she was just sulking. Even her closest friend, Abby, she snubbed Abby at the party. Abby had tried to come talk to her. She had snubbed Abby. And Abby was so pissed. And some people who obviously that Friday night during the questions games had brought up the question about the genuineness of their relationship, they had things to say. That, oh, you see now, that was why we were asking that question that day. And then she was clinging to Sultex, because Sultex was the only person that she could actually cling to at that point in time after the party. But inside the party room, Keivo was literally dancing with her non-stop, probably to provoke or maybe to upset Temi, just as Temi has been triggering him the entire week. But it felt like Keivo was even trying too hard to get her to even smile, to laugh, to be happy, because she was just there. She was just there as if they forced her to come to the party. And you see, yeah, speaking about housemates participating in sponsored tasks, I know that a lot of our fans are going to make references to the likes of Godessa, who had a knee issue and so could not participate in some of the, I think in just the Super Commando task. Well, she actually did participate by putting on the outfit and making herself present in the arena, and then seeking permission from Big Brother before the games started by also pointing out a challenge, and Big Brother, seeing it, had given her the permission to not participate, of course, because of her health challenges at that point in time. But Nomi did not participate. During their rehearsals and everything, she was in bed. She had the duvet over herself. She was just chilling. And nobody should come and say that she had cramps, because how many times does a woman see their period in a month? Hmm? How many times? So, ladies and gentlemen, I was really shocked that despite the fact that she did not make herself available for the task, she was at the party. Because even Sheba was so upset. Sheba was like, no, this is not fair. This is not fair. That this is to their disadvantage. Da, 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 da. Guys, she literally put her team members at a disadvantage. And you see, it made me also think really hard about how these housemates are even taking Nomi's defiance of the rules. Not even about Big Brother now, but of the rules in the house. Why are they not questioning it? Why are they not contesting it? Why are they not protesting it or protesting against it? Why are they condoning it? Why are they not questioning Big Brother? Why? Because if I were in that house, ladies and gentlemen, Big Brother will not rest. Because every time Nomi does rubbish and Big Brother gives her a pass, I would be yapping my mouth in that house. Because I will also prove that Nomi is not the only one that can break rules and go scot-free. I will be yapping my mouth in that house. I'll be questioning Big Brother every time. And honestly, I'm going to give a massive fuck you to that, oh, Big Brother's house, Big Brother's rule. No, Big Brother, if you're biased, if you're going to be playing favoritism this season, then come out with it. Don't be disguising with Big Brother's house, Big Brother's rules. I'm going to be questioning it. When I go for my diary session, when Big Brother asks me, oh, do you have anything else you want to discuss? I will say, yes, Big Brother. How is it that this particular housemate will do XYZ, XYZ, and you will not do what you need to do? And I'll ask Big Brother, Biggie, if I did the same thing, will I get the same grace? Will I get the same passes? Because what level of madness is this? It's ridiculous. So, ladies and gentlemen, question. What do you think happened to Nomi that made her not to participate in the almighty Pepsi challenge? What do you think happened? Do you even think it's allowed for a housemate to not, like, just deliberately remove themselves from participating in a sponsored task? You know what, yeah? Whatever. Moving on. After the party, housemates were back inside the house and there was a conversation between Ricky and Chimsom Chuka, where Ricky was talking about how he's overly stressed and so occupied this season of the show that ever since he got into the house, it's been one task or the other, and him not even having a babe. He doesn't even have time for a babe, but he actually misses Neche though, that he just loved seeing Neche around. And when Ricky said that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to lie, it made me laugh so much because it totally reminded me of the live conversation we had during our YouTube live conversation yesterday, where we were all talking about how many times Ricky had been rejected by some of the girls that he had made his advances to, right? And so it was so funny to me because him putting it that way to Chimsom, that he has not even had time for a babe, it made it look like he has not been trying to actually get a babe. Because I'm like, bro, you're lying. You're lying. You're a freaking liar. Dude, you've been trying every week to get a babe. It did not work out. You tried with Neche, it did not work. You tried with Mercedes. Remember that he actually approached Mercedes' bed, tried to sleep in her bed, was asking for a massage, was asking for tender love and care. She refused. Approached Sheba rejected him. Approached Abby, said he wanted to tension Abby for whatever reason, whatever, did not work out. Went back to Sheba again, did not work out. Oh, I forgot to mention, went back to Neche again, did not work out. And now he's planning on moving on to Gadesa. How many now? Is it 6 or 5? Guys, I've lost count at this point. So him telling Chimsom that, oh, he has been so occupied with all the tasks and games and stuff. He doesn't even have a babe. I'm like, make it feeling funky. Baba, can you be so honest at least to tell your guy, your bro, that you've been rejected multiple times? It was so funny, to be honest. But anyways, that was where he had gone ahead to mention that Tram had gone to seek a voluntary exit. And ladies and gentlemen, I've said all I want to say about Tram, yeah. But speaking about the housemate reaction now, um, the likes of Shiba lost it. Shiba was in her feelings. She was crying, like she was crying really hard. She was I wouldn't say begging, but more like encouraging Tram, not to leave. That it doesn't matter how bad the week has been for him, not winning tasks and stuff, but he should just stay. She was trying to she was really trying. I mean, and in a way I could totally understand where she was coming from, because those two, they've actually bonded. In a way, they've really bonded. And I don't know if she was scared that it was going to leave. I don't know, but yeah, she was just really emotional. She was really emotional. And Tram as well was emotional. He was trying to hold it in as a guy, not to cry, but you could see that he was really struggling. What's her name? Temi had gone to go and hug both of them, and was also sort of begging Tram, don't leave my Tram, don't leave my Tram, don't leave my Tram. And then Oyi and Flora, they had gone to advise him, just like they advised Nomi when she had also asked for a voluntary exit. They had gone to advise him not to leave, that he should stay strong, he should not worry, things will work out fine, that the game is the game. You cannot go through all you've been through to be in the house, and now just in the fourth week you want to leave. It doesn't make sense. You're not a coward, you should stay strong. So they had advised him that he should go and meet Big Brother in the morning and apologize to Big Brother, beg Big Brother that he doesn't want to leave anymore, and just stay on in the game. I think Shiba too, they were also advising him that, listen, at least honorably leave via an eviction, so that at least when you go out, you will know the amount of people who have been rooting for you, people who have been loving you, who have been watching you. But now you wanting to leave, it's coming off as selfish, because there are people out there who are already invested in you and your personality and the game you're playing. So you leaving now, you're depriving them of the joy of experiencing you on TV. So they had a lot of good words of encouragement to say to him. And yeah, he was actually listening. He was really paying attention. Now, whilst these other people were encouraging him, there was the likes of Nomi, who had a lot of to say. Nomi, of course, was like, she did not care. And to be honest, I do not blame her, because both of them, they are not really friends anyways. They are sworn enemies in that house, so she was just not being nice about it, and she wasn't necessarily sugarcoating anything. Yes, but Sultex was pretty shaken, because for him, if anybody would ask for voluntary exit, it can't be Tram. Because somehow, guys, just like I see Tram as a very, very strong character, they also see him as a strong character. So it came as a shock to his fellow housemates that he would even think of asking for a voluntary exit, But anyways, at the end of it all, it seemed like all the words of encouragement kind of worked. I'm not really sure yet. I'm keeping my fingers crossed, because later on, he was having a conversation with Temi, and it seemed a bit okay. And he had let her know, and there was also Yusuf and Bells. He was just letting them know that he was just really fed up with losing. The week had been really crappy. I just felt like things were not really working out for him. Even his girlfriend did not want him to be in the house. Now it just feels like just going back out, But yeah, let's see if he's really going to leave. All right, let's see if he's really going to leave. Now, moving on to other conversations, ladies and gentlemen. Remember I told you about this thing that was going on between Araga and Gadesa in the party room, where Gadesa was dancing with other people and Araga was acting like he did not know what she was doing? So it turns out that, according to Gadesa, Araga had given her an instruction that at the party, he wants to watch her dance with other people. So she should go ahead and dance with other people whilst he watches. And that was exactly what she did. And I found it so funny and freaky at the same time. I mean, I like freaky. So I found it freaky because it seems like the kind of relationship they have is the sort of one which, the guy will tell you wear this and you wear just so that, just for his own viewing pleasure. And he will tell you do this in public and you do it just for his own freaky pleasure, right? And that was what she did. And she was telling him, baby, you told me to do this and I did it. But when you were not talking to me, it now looked as if we were quarreling. People will not think that we're actually fighting when we are not fighting. Da, da, da. But you told me. So Araga was like, did I tell you that? But I didn't tell you to go and dance with those people. She was like, no, but that was what you said. I remember you told me to dance with anybody, with any other person on the dance that you wanted to watch. And while she was saying that, they now started talking about Barry. And it turned out that she was quite disappointed in Barry. She was complaining to Araga that Barry is so childish, such a childish 26-year-old, that anytime she danced with Barry, she noticed that Barry would go and talk to Cassie, and then both of them will whisper, and then they'll be laughing. And she was just complaining and complaining and complaining. And I was wondering why she was that pained at whatever she said Barry was doing, because it just did not make sense. Now, speaking of the Barry, ladies and gentlemen, you will not believe that after complaining that much about Barry, Godessa later on had gone to go and give Barry the coziest hug in the kitchen. That kind of hug that, you know, that kind of hug, like, it was that deep. And you see, I was just looking at Godessa. I said, this girl, touche, because that was her a few minutes ago boosting up the ego of her lover Araga, making him feel like he's the only man that can tell her what to do, making her feel like, or making him feel like he's the only man that has got the maturity that she requires in a lover. And then the next minute she was in the kitchen frolicking with Barry, the same Barry that she had actually dragged in front of Araga. And while she was dragging Barry, Araga was laughing her and she was telling Araga, I'm tipsy, but I have to say the truth, I have to say my mind. And the guy, his head was swelling up with pride. It was just so funny to watch. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, whilst all of that was happening, there was Keivo. Keivo was having a not so great night. The guy was really high on alcohol, right? And so he was trying so hard to throw up, like he was completely disoriented. But thankfully, there was Flora and Oyi who came to the rescue. I think they gave him water. I don't know if they added salt and sugar or something just to help him, you know, get hydrated. So they gave him a whole bottle of water. And then they also gave him Gary, all right? They gave him Gary to drink. And he drank it. They even brought bucket. They were fully prepared, you know, to help him, you know, throw up. And of course, other guys in the room, they were teasing him. Chimsom was teasing him. Araga, Godessa, they were teasing him just in a playful way, you know, and they were just there just to make him not to feel too bad about himself, because he said that he has only been to the club once in his life. So they were teasing him that, don't worry, after the show, you'll be going to the club every day. Because they are literally trying to break him into the social scene, you know. But then thankfully, he was able to throw up and they were all cheering him on, you know, that he should go ahead, throw up so that he will feel better. And he did that. And I kind of liked that scene, you know, because they were all kind of there for him. So yeah, sort of helped him to relieve himself of all of that alcohol in his system, because it was really messing up with him. After that, later on, there was a conversation happening in the garden. There was Cassie involved. There was Gerard. There was Chimsom, Bluthopia, there was Araga, there was also Abby that came out later to join. Initially they were discussing random things, but then they started talking about Nomi, what she had done, and the fact that she had sort of just all of a sudden started keeping malice with the people that she had been able to create some sort of connection with this week. And as usual, Cassie was sort of trying to speak to her defense. And guys, to be honest, I was just so bored, because for me, dude, you're really trying so hard to be that one person that is the good guy, in quotes, the good guy that is not, in quotes again, ganging up against Nomi. Because for me, as far as I'm concerned, that is the impression that Cassie is trying to make. He's trying to make it look like the whole house does not like Nomi. And so he's the only guy, the only genuine guy who has got her back. And I just feel like, well, dude, you're just being disingenuous, because you know that this girl, she's the one bringing upon herself all of these things that she's doing. Nobody. People are quite open unavailable for her to connect with. But she goes on to them, connects with them, and then she leaves them high and dry. I mean, imagine what she did to Abby. And Abby was so upset with her and said, you know what, that she's done with that kind of toxic relationship. She's no longer interested. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that is that. And then finally, for the night, there was Araga and Godessa. They were doing things beneath the sheets again. I don't know if it was Araga giving himself a blowjob, or Godessa was the one giving him, not blowjob, a hand job, or Godessa was the one giving him a hand job, or both of them put their hands together like a marriage and they were doing the thing together. I don't know. But I know that there was movement and they were kissing as well and just doing stuff. And that did not end there. There was also Yusuf and Bells. You see those two. If anybody sees them outside the house, tell them I said they are mad. Because 1 minute, they are quarreling. The next minute, they are kissing and making up in bed. Last night, the way Ricky was even tontoning Bells in that bed, I'm like, bro, are you on a baby making mission? Because some of the positions he was taking, I'm sorry to say, that is how a couple who's trying to make babies, that is how they do it. Because they will lift the woman's leg up so that when the guy discharges inside her, the thing will stay there, it will not pour out. I said, Yusuf, do you want to give Biggie grandbabies this season? Because what is going on? Okay, I'm sorry. PG. I'm sorry. I think I just being nasty. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that was that. I would love to hear your thoughts about all I have shared on this video. So please go ahead and share. I'll see you guys on another episode of Frankly Speaking with Bbnaija. Thanks for watching. Have an amazing day. Bye.